just got physically beat on both lines of scrimmage. And first half, you can't run it. You can never establish anything in the run game. They pin the ears back and rush pretty well. And defensively, got guys at the point of attack, don't tackle. You know, it's hard to understand at times. You know, we seems like we're a decent tackling team at times, and other times we're not. But you got to get off blocks. You got to make, make tackles. You got to be a willing participant to stick your face in there and tackle. And unfortunately, we just didn't do that tonight, especially in the first half. Settled down a little, played a little better in the second half. And I like the way our guys responded in the game and came around and did respond in the second half and fought a little bit. So we'll continue to knew there'd be some bumps in the road. We said it last week. We will continue to move forward and get better and improve our football team.
Will, did you think that the reshuffling of the offensive line, not coming back in at center, did that have something to do with the blocking, or with just MSU's defense?
No, I think I credit those guys. I mean, I think that they whipped us twice on third down situations for sacks, the first 2 third downs of the game. And then, you know, we had a hard time running it. You know, they really jammed everything up inside. We went to some of the perimeter run game in the second half, which helped us. So I credit them. They whipped us.
What problems did you see with your defense and their quarterback and his success running?
You got to tackle. You know, they were 70-yarder. We had 3 guys at the point of attack. So we're gonna work on tackling again tomorrow. But you got to be, you got to like it. You got to actually like to stick your face in there and tackle somebody. And we are where we are. We're going to improve. We're going to get better. We're going to do it. Guys are willing to do it. I can assure you of that. So it's hard to be a really good defensive player if you don't like to tackle. If you don't like really to stick your face in the fan and like it. Just be honest with you. Cut to the chase. Call it like it is. And we got some folks out there that did. And you know what? We don't have a lot of options right now, but we're going to have some come moving forward.
Well, what did you think of McElwain's boys in the second half?
I thought he did a nice job. I thought he went in there and created some plays for us, and you know, we'll evaluate the tape and moving forward. But again, I like our guys' resolve in the second half to go out and compete, and you know, it was good.
What made you want to go with Brandon in the second half?
Well, we weren't doing anything in the first half, so we needed a change up. So at the end of the day, we felt like we just changed some things up. It's no different than changing a receiver or a running back or a tight end or an offensive lineman. You need to do something different.
Will, did you see enough from Brandon that you would think of starting him next week?
Well, we need to evaluate that right now. I don't want to step out on that, but again, we just it was not one position's fault. It was not Perry Orr's fault the way we played.
Was it a step back from last week as far as tackling goes? Did you like what you saw last week versus this week?
Yeah, but they create more space plays, so they create more one-on-ones the way they run their offense. So it was not as tight area tackles. Where when you miss a tight area tackle, it's not as it doesn't hurt you as much as opposed to a tackle in space when you miss one. And so again, we just got to find some guys to tackle better.
Were you expecting as many of those RPOs and some of the things they were doing with the quarterback?
Yeah, prepared for it. We had guys at the point of attack. Go back and watch the tape. You'll see it.
You guys played 2 tight ends for a lot of the game. What kind of went into that?
Well, it creates an issue for the defense to prepare for as far as whether we're going to create some blocking surface issues, and we're not. And Hayden's a guy that can split out and do some things in the slot, so can KC. And I thought we did some decent things with those guys at times. We need to narrow down more about our identity and what we are, and we're going to do that.
Will, do you happen to know about Chaz or Blake Camper? Those guys went down. I don't think they came
Yeah,
back.
Chaz had some ribs, and I'll know more tomorrow about where those are. But he couldn't return to the game. Devo has a hamstring. The first play of the game, we got it dialed up exactly the look we want. It's a touchdown. So we just got to run through the catch, and he tweaked it there. Blake's got an ankle. I don't know how serious. Jacob had an ankle but was ready to return the game, and I think Corey Helms had either a knee. I think he's okay.
As you sit here right now, Will, what's your gut feeling that your identity should be or will be? Offense.
Well, I think moving forward, we got to be able to create more things in the run game. We had a hard time running the ball in the first half, and so whether it's quarterback legs or whatever it is, we've got to create some more things in the run game to be able to create some things for us explosively down the field. And so we'll go back and look at it and come up with some answers.
Is that blocking or more than blocking?
Well, it's a lot of things, in my opinion. It's, from a standpoint of the running back position, we gotta have more guys step up. At times, we cut some guys loose, whether it's on the perimeter, because we did have some perimeter runs called, and you don't block on the perimeter as well. You get on the edges of guys, you don't get square down the middle. So there are several things at fault that we just need to get correct.
Quarterback rotation, forgive me if you already answered it. How did you come into the game thinking that would work, and how did
Well,
you
we
decide
want,
to make the switch?
because of the way Perry played in the first game and his preparation, he's practiced well. And felt like he deserved the opportunity, and we just weren't getting anything going. And it wasn't all Perry's fault. I mean, Perry, the first ball was there. We should have made the play, bottom line. I mean, so it wasn't all Perry's fault. We felt like we needed to change something up, and I think we did get a little spark going a little bit. Of course, they changed a little bit how they were playing defensively. They didn't want to give up any big plays. So there's obviously some things there at the time. So we will evaluate that as we move forward.
With Brandon missing some throws there in the late second half, do you think about going back to Perry at all?
Not at that time. I mean, again, we had moved the ball decently well, and just again, the more snaps he gets, the better he's going to play.
Chris Lamons, was he injured when you swapped Jamarcus in there, or you just want to?
No, you got to tackle to play defense at South Carolina. It's just kind of important.
Will down 24-0 at half. What's the message going into?
Just respond, and they did. Just respond. Play with effort. Play with intensity. Play the way you're capable of playing, and they did. And we responded in the second half. I was very pleased with how our guys came out and played. First half wasn't indicative of who we are.
Did you feel like the short look you had at Nick Fitzgerald on tape hurt your
No.
defensive preparation, or
We had
your
guys that, go back and watch the tape. We had guys at the point of attack. You got to tackle.
more specifically though, hurt your guys in understanding what he could do to you?
I don't think so. I think he's, he executed some things well, and we got to tackle better. That's the bottom line. We got to play blocks. You got to get off blocks. You got to shed blocks. You got to run to the ball. You got to tackle. I mean, there's, you throw a hitch, you got to tackle the guy. Put the guy on the ground. Scholarship, do it.
In terms of the offensive line struggles, did you feel some of those were more schematic, or were more just guys getting beat one-on-one?
No, I think the 2 third downs, that was a one-on-one win for Mississippi State. There's no doubt about that. But there were some some things that we can go back and look at schematically, a little more 3 down front than we had looked at. And again, we got to just continue to improve what we're doing.